Okay, today I'm going to be talking about another way of solving systems of equations called elimination. Now, when we have elimination, what we do is we create we take two different equations and we either subtract them from each other or add them together to eliminate one of the variables. Right? And by eliminating one of the variables, we'll be left with a result equation that has only one variable in it, and then we can solve that variable. Right? So this is kind of how it works. I'm going to show you an example of elimination that you've probably already been using. Now, for instance, if I gave you an example like this, so if I said 2x plus 6 is equal to 12. Right? Now, let's actually just make it a little more interesting. We'll say 2x minus 6. Okay, so if I say 2x minus 6 is equal to 12, now in the past, what you've probably been doing is you're saying, well, I want to add 6 to this side so I can get the 2x all alone. And then what you've probably been told is if you add 6 to one side, you have to add 6 to the other side. Right? But what you're actually doing is creating a system of equations where you're saying 6 equals 6. Alright? And then what you've chosen to do is add both of the equations together. Okay, so we have 2x minus, so negative 6 plus 6 is 0, is equal to 12 plus 6, which is 18. Alright, and then we can divide both sides by 2, and we can get x is equal to 9. Right? And from the elimination, what we can do is get rid of this 6 on the one side. Okay, that's actually what you've been doing. Okay, now when we're doing systems of equations, it's only a little bit more complicated than that. Okay, so let's say for instance I took something like 2x plus y equals, or plus 3 equals 0. Right, and another equation that was something like 2x minus 3y plus 8 is equal to 4. Okay, just something like that. Now they don't have to actually be in the general form. I'm going to put it in general form like this. They won't have to be in general form, and they don't have to be in slope-intercept form or anything like that. They just both have to be in the same form. Okay, so whatever form you choose, they both have to be in the same one. Alright, and that's just because we need to line up their values. Alright, now here I notice that I have a 2x and a 2x. So what I'm going to notice is that I can eliminate these two values. Alright, so what I can do is say, well, I'm going to subtract this whole equation from the top equation. Okay, so I get 2x minus 2x, and that's 0x. And then I have y minus negative 3y, which is 4y. Okay, plus 4y. Okay, and I've got 3 minus 8, which is negative 5. And then on this side I have 0 minus 0, which is just 0. Okay, and then I can say 4y is equal to 5. Okay, and y is equal to 5 over 4. Alright? Now that's really good for us because, but it only works right now because the x's match up. Alright? Because you have a 2x and a 2x. But what about the y's? Is there a way to do that to eliminate and find out what y is? Okay? Or find out what x is. Alright? Now the way this works is that what I have to do is I have to multiply the equations, okay, to make them make the y's the same. So I'm going to notice that in order to make this y into a 3y, I've got to multiply it by 3. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 3, so times 3. And I'm going to end up with 6x plus 3y plus 9 is equal to 0. Right? The bottom one, I'm just going to keep the same, so times 1. Right? So that's going to be 2x minus 3y plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay? Now, here I have a plus 3y and a negative 3y, and I want them to eliminate. So what I have to do is I have to add the equations together. Okay, so I have 2x and 6x, so that's 8x. 3 plus negative 3 is 0y. And then 9 plus 8 is 17, so plus 17 equals 0. Alright, then I can solve this and say 8x is equal to negative 17, and x is equal to negative 17 over 8. Alright, so a lot of people say that elimination is easier than substitution. I think it is as well. Sometimes, though, it's better to use substitution. Alright, for instance, if you're given an equation, it's like this. Okay, so let's say for instance you have something like 4x minus 3y plus 8 equals 0. And then your second equation is like y is equal to x plus 3. Alright, in this case, it's just easier to do the substitution because you already have, you already know what y is, so you can just plug this into y and then solve for x. Alright, I'm going to just finish with one more example. It's the same one as we did in our previous video. Okay, and that's 4x plus y minus 17 equals 0. Alright, my other equation is x minus 2y plus 7 is equal to 0. Okay, now you can see the x's and the y's don't match up. I'm just going to make the x's match up first. So I multiply this first line by 1 and this bottom line by 4. Okay, so I'm going to get 4x plus y minus 17 equals 0. The bottom equation is going to turn into 4x minus 8y plus 28 is equal to 0. Okay, now I have 4x and 4x, so I need to subtract these in order to make them cancel. Okay, now there's no real hard and fast rule. Well, I guess there is, but the rule is that you have to either choose addition or subtraction in order to make that eliminate. Okay, so for instance, if I chose to add these together, okay, this 4x plus 4x would become 8x, and this y plus negative 8y would become negative 7y, and neither eliminated. So I should not choose addition for this. Instead, I should choose subtraction, so I get 4x minus 4x, which is just 0. Okay, then I have y minus negative 8y, which is 9y, and then negative 17 minus 28, which is negative 45, is equal to 0. Okay, then I end up with 9y is equal to 45, and y is equal to 5. Okay, I can do the same thing for x. Okay, so instead of multiplying the bottom one, I'm just going to copy these here. Okay, I'll just do that over here, and I will shrink down this other one just to give you a little more room. Okay, so if I'm going, before I eliminated the x, this time I'm going to eliminate the y. Okay, so what I'm going to do is multiply this first one by 2 and the second one by 1. Okay, so I end up with 8x plus 2y minus 34 is equal to 0. Okay, then I can say the bottom one is x minus 2y plus 7 is equal to 0. Okay, now I've got 2y and negative 2y. The only way to make them eliminate is if I add the two equations together. So I have 8x and x is 9x. Okay, 2y plus negative 2y is just 0, and negative 34 plus 7 is 27. Okay, or negative 27 equals 0. Okay, then I end up with 9x is equal to 27, and x is equal to 3. Okay, so the point that satisfies both of these equations is 3, 5. Alright, and that's how you can use elimination to solve problems. Okay, so hopefully you like this video. If you do like the video, then give me a thumbs up. If you do like my channel, then please consider subscribing. And if you have any suggestions for any other videos, then let me know.